All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin Wright. I use he, him, his pronouns, and I serve as the Assistant Director for Student Diversity in the Office of Student Diversity and Social Justice here at UNLV. Welcome to today's program, #Boss Moves, where we are going to be graced by the presence of Dr. Joshua Fredenberg. But before we get into that, I want to go over just a few basic things in regards to how we're going to navigate this space today. So just a little bit about our office for those of us that may not be aware of our office, Student Diversity and Social Justice, otherwise known as SDSJ. Our mission is to advocate with the diverse student population to amplify and affirm student identities through an intersectional framework to promote student success. We are a student-centered office committed to educating, empowering, and developing UNLV students as leaders to recognize and address societal injustices. Our vision is that we will provide transformative experiences to create a campus free of oppression and trauma through intentional engagement. And something else that is a part of our practice here in SDSJ is that for any program that we have, any session that we put on for our students or anyone within our campus community, we always acknowledge the land that we're on. We always acknowledge that during these times when we are doing virtual engagement programs such as this, we understand that people may not be specifically located in Las Vegas. So we at least want to acknowledge the land in terms of where UNLV now stands. So we acknowledge that we are on the ancestral lands of the Nuwuvi Southern Paiute people. We acknowledge the indigenous people of the lands where UNLV now stands and recognize that these have always been places of teaching and learning. We wish to pay respect to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and acknowledge the important role Nuwuvi Southern Paiute people continue to play within the UNLV community. This acknowledgement and the centering of Native peoples as a start as we move forward for many years to come. And we also have community agreements so we can make sure that we establish the proper grounding for this space. So no one is obligated or required to have their cameras on. So feel free to mute those and keep those off if you choose to. All of your mics are muted. So if you ever seek to engage, which there will be plenty of opportunities to engage throughout this program, just make sure that you are unmuting your mic when necessary. Otherwise, feel free to engage in the chat box or use the reactions. And if folks can actually test some of those reaction buttons on their Zoom platform, that would be great just to make sure that everything is properly working. Be mindful of gender inclusive language, respectful language, and be mindful of how much space that you may be taking or may be offering to others. There may be some assumptions around career readiness and other topics that we're going to discuss with Dr. Fredenberg. So we ask that you lean into that discomfort and just know that we are here to empower you and we are here to help you grow through what is said in this space during this program. And before I get started, I would like to now introduce our speaker. So Dr. Joshua Fredenberg is an internationally acclaimed speaker, author of 7 books, member of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated, a TEDx speaker, and the president and founder of the award-winning Circle of Change Leadership Experience, a national leadership experience focused on preparing culturally diverse and first-generation students for career leadership and success. For the past 15 years, Dr. Fredenberg has not only served as a keynote speaker in 47 states across the country, but he has transformed the lives of thousands of people as a keynote speaker, workshop presenter, trainer, and facilitator at different conferences, retreats, and trainings that revolve around leadership, diversity and inclusion, student success, new student orientation, professional development, career readiness, fraternity and sorority events, and college graduations. In 2018, Dr. Fredenberg received an honorary membership from Golden Key International, was recognized as a top leader under 40 in South Florida in 2017, had his National Leadership Conference selected by the NASPA Student Affairs Professionals in Higher Education Student Leadership Programs Knowledge Community as the top student leadership development program in 2015. And he received a Community Leadership Award from the Urban League Young Professionals of Los Angeles for his work in developing the next generation of leaders in 2015 as well. In addition to a successful speaking career, Dr. Fredenberg received his doctoral degree in organizational leadership from Nova Southeastern University in June of 2019, attained a master's degree in organizational leadership from Biola University in 2008, and has appeared on various televisions and radio shows throughout the years. Folks, I now present to you all Dr. Joshua Fredenberg.
causes us to have what I call imposter syndrome. I'm not good enough to be in the room. I'm not good enough to be on the campus. I'm not good enough to lead. So why am I going to give up when I look back at my history? When I look back at what I've come from? Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Dr. Joshua Fredenberg, and I want to welcome you all to this wonderful presentation, this wonderful afternoon. Before I do get started, I just want to take the moment. I want to thank Kevin and the entire leadership team for giving me the opportunity to do this wonderful presentation with each of you virtually today. Hope that you're having a wonderful day. I'm definitely having a great day, and I'm truly looking forward to presenting this wonderful program with you this afternoon. Before we do get started, a couple of ground rules that I like to establish right off the bat. Number one, if you can just make sure that you are engaged and participating and interacting with this presentation, that would be very helpful for me. I often say the more engagement, the more participation, and the more interaction, the more impactful that this program will be. And you're going to definitely have your opportunities to chime in, to speak your mind, and to provide me with comments or questions related to the presentation. Number two, I know some of you may not be able to open your screens, but if you are, that would be absolutely incredible. I love to see faces. I love to see people and their wonderful, beautiful smiles. As you know, we are virtual. There's nobody in the room with me right now, but if you're able to open your screen, that would be awesome. If you can't, I absolutely understand, but it's one of the things I love to do. And then thirdly, we're here to have fun. Again, we're here to have an enjoyable experience. I believe growing is fun. I believe evolving is fun. And I definitely believe that this topic is going to be very enriching today as well. So I want to just welcome you all here today. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to be with us today. And we're going to jump into this conversation dealing with hashtag boss moves, because there's definitely some questions, there's definitely some content that I think is going to be very beneficial to you in your journey towards attaining career leadership success. But before we get started, we're going to be with our first interaction, and I'm going to begin with a poll. And so my video producer, Michael, is going to put the poll on the screen. And this is the first question. What has been one of your biggest disappointments? Is it A, being fired from a job? Is it B, missing out on a great opportunity? Is it C, causing a bad relationship? Is it D, not getting something you really wanted? Or is it last, failing to reach your goal? Michael, play the music. Okay, I see it coming in. All right, thank you so much for participating. I see him coming in, and right now, it looks like failing to reach a personal goal is number one. We got about 3 seconds left, 5 seconds. Time stops. So number one was failing to reach a personal goal. And I want to thank you all so much for participating, because it leads me into my opening story. It was literally approximately 20 years ago, where I was an incoming freshman on the campus of Long Beach State University. And at the time, my vision was very clear. Ultimately, what I wanted to do is I wanted to be a national basketball player and then ultimately be a sports broadcaster. And that's just my goal when I set foot on the college campus, was number one, that I was going to play on this court, and I was going to have an incredible collegiate career, and then I was going to graduate, and I was going to make it to the NBA, and then I was going to be a sports broadcaster hosting shows on ESPN, CBS, NBC, and a variety of other sports networks. And this was my goal, and this was my aspiration. But unfortunately, after about the first year, everything did not go the way that I planned. In essence, although I had this strong desire to play on the basketball court, to be this NBA player. I walk on the court, I try to walk on the team, and I literally miss it by one player. Literally by one player, I was not able to make the team. And I was disheartened. I was frustrated. I was extremely agitated. And the reason why I felt this way is because you got to understand, ever since I was 6 years old, I had this aspiration that one day I was going to be a professional athlete. One day I was going to be a professional football, baseball, or basketball player. And for 13 years, I worked hard. I played athletics. I went the extra mile. I put in the time. I went to conferences. I went to all kinds of things, positioning myself for a future career. And literally in about 24 to 48 hours, that entire dream was done. And I felt so hurt, and I was so bothered, and I was so agitated, and I didn't really know what to do. And I don't know if you've ever been there before. I don't know if you've ever been in a place before where you had this dream, where you had this aspiration, where there was something you wanted to do, and literally it just came to an end. There's no way to do it again. There's no way to try again. There's not going to be a second chance. Literally, it's over. This is exactly where I was at this moment. But thankfully, during this time, I had a communications class. And within this communications class, we were asked to do what they call a persuasive speech. And so the teacher said, listen, Joshua, I want you to do this persuasive speech. You have 5 to 7 minutes. And so I step into the class, and I'm giving this powerful presentation. And not only was it exceptionally beneficial for me because I was able to discover a gift I never had, but ultimately this would be the beginning stages where my purpose, where my focus, where my vision and my future would begin to manifest. In essence, at a point where I was in despair, at a point where I was in frustration, and a point where I didn't know what to do, it was my experience on a college campus in a communications class with about 30 people where I had to give a presentation, and the teacher loved it, and the teacher was excited, and the teacher was happy and was like, oh, this is so amazing, that I discovered that I had a gift that I never knew about, and it was the gift of public speaking. And because I discovered this gift from there, I decided to take another communications class. And I was on the debate team. And I never lost. I was literally undefeated. And at that point, I developed a passion. And from there, I joined an on-campus organization. And when I joined this on-campus organization, they said, who wants to do a presentation? I said, I want to do it. So I got to do this presentation. I'm in front of about 30 or 50 people once again, and I'm giving this presentation, and I'm speaking, and I'm excited, and literally 50% of people start bawling in tears. And at that point, it was clear that I was going to be this national speaker, that I was going to be this person that was going to travel the country, and I was going to make an impact in my community, my nation, or my world. In essence, I went from failure to vision, to excitement, to hope. I went from that rejection to direction that was something even better and more excited about. In essence, everything shifted because of my experience in college and being able to discover, what you'll learn about later, the assets that I possess to add benefit and value to other people. And so it was from that point that I made up in my mind that I'm going to be this national speaker. I'm going to travel the country. I'm going to make an impact. And I begin to move forward. And I begin to go after this dream. And I want to be very honest with you. I faced a lot of challenges. I faced rejection and I faced failure. And there were moments I was ready to throw in the towel. And there were moments I was ready to give up. And there was moments I was upset because I felt like I was looked over, or I felt like I didn't get an opportunity. I was facing all that. But in the midst of the challenge, I persevered. And I endured, and I'm here to tell you today that after 15 plus years, I've been able to travel the country as a national speaker in 47 different states. In addition to that, I've been able to speak at places like HBO. I've been able to go on television and talk about relationships and talk about some of the books that I've been able to write. In essence, I've been able to turn everything around from that disappointment and position myself for a career that has been so fulfilling, has been so impactful, and has enabled me to do what I love to do, which is to motivate, which is to inspire and empower people to be the best individuals, the best leaders, the best professionals possible. This is what transpired in my life. And based on my experience and based on all the lessons that I've learned about professional and career success, and again, as I often tell people, the journey never stops. I'm continuing to learn lessons. I'm continuing to learn new things. And based on all this experience and based on all the research and based on all the incredible professionals and experts that I've had an opportunity to interview, to meet, and to converse with, my goal today is really simple. What I'm getting ready to give you is I'm going to give you 4 questions that I believe are essential if you're going to attain what I call career leadership success. In essence, over these next 45 to 60 minutes, I'm going to give you 4 questions, 4 that I believe are critical if we're going to position ourselves for what I call career leadership success. In essence, I call these #boss moves. 4 blueprint principles that will position you for career leadership success in the midst of all the challenges and all the obstacles that are happening today. So if you've locked in today and if you're ready to get into this presentation, I'm telling you, I got some stuff that's going to be very beneficial for your career success. And I am so excited. I am so motivated to begin to share this with you today. But before we go into the first point, we're going to go into a breakout room. And in this breakout room, we have about 3 people here, including myself. You're going to go into a breakout room, and I'm just going to have everyone go into the breakout room together. And what you're going to do is I want you to have a conversation with the people you're in the room with. And this is what I want you to talk about. What are 3 of the greatest assets, strengths, or value that you have to offer as a professional or leader? What are 3 assets? What are 3 ways you can add value? What are 3 ways you can help people that will empower you and enable you to reach success as a professional and as a leader? You're going to have 5 minutes, and when you come back, I'm going to call on a couple people to share with what they came up with. So 5 minutes is going to be able to converse, connect, and then once you're done, we're going to get into this first point. See you soon. Welcome back, welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. So awesome. So I have Kayla and I have, oh, sorry. I have Kayla and I have Jay. So Kayla and Jay, really, so we have two people. If one of you would like to share what you all talked about, that would be great. So whoever would like to go first, so Kayla or Jay, if you'd like to chime in real quick, definitely would love to get to see you and see what you and Jade or you both had to talk about. So Kayla, Jade, anyone want to go first?
I'll go first. Oh,
You can go.
okay. So we basically talked about courage and also being able to problem solve and emotionally help others, especially when there's like a disconnection in the group that needs to be solved.
Wow, I love that. I love that. That's really great. And real quick, so that was Jade. Real quick, Jay. So what year are you? Tell me a little about where you from, what year are you in, what's your major?
So yes, I'm Jade, and I'm currently in Hawaii, on the island of Oahu, and I'm a freshman at UNLV, and my major is psychology.
I love it. I love it, Jade. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So nice to meet you. Coming from Hawaii, I love it. What about you, Kayla? Welcome, Kayla. Introduce yourself as well, and let me know where you're from as well. We'll answer the question.
So I'm a first year too. My major is also psychology, and
Uh-huh.
I'm from Chicago.
Okay, Chi-Town. Okay, okay. I love it. I'm a Bears fan, by the way. Okay. And what did you share in that conversation when we were talking about your assets and what you're able to bring to the table?
I said that you're not easily influenced.
So you have a strong mind. You're a strong-minded person.
Yeah,
I love it. If you believe in something, no matter what the people say, you're gonna go after to make it happen, right?
yeah.
I love it. I love it. Awesome. Man, thank you both so much for sharing. There'll be some other moments to share as well. I'm going to move on to my next point because this is why we're here. And I'm so happy you're both freshmen. So you're getting some good information as you begin to matriculate through the collegiate journey and position yourself for career leadership success. So we're going to go to our first point. The reason why I asked that question, because it leads me to question number one. And question number one is, have you conducted what I call a shape analysis? Now, the question becomes, what is a shape analysis? A shape analysis is where, number one, you take some time and you look within and you ask yourself a series of questions. Number one, what set of values matter most to you? What is your passion? What are your abilities, your strengths, or your talents? What's your personality type? What stories, what experiences do you have that will provide value to an organization or value to a company? And then again, I always like to bring this up. What cultural heritage, what cultural experiences that you do possess that will add value to a company and will add value to an organization as well? That's the first thing. And then what you want to do is you want to identify an area of expertise, a career that is in alignment with who you are. And then the third step is, once you identify your assets, once you know your path, the last thing is you want to do is you want to add value to that area of expertise. So again, when we deal with this concept of what I call a shape analysis, number one, you are taking time to identify your assets, because each of us has what I call assets. Each of us has gifts. Each of us has something to bring that is unique to any space, any organization or company. But then number two, you want to create your career path. You want to determine your major. You want to create your vision out of who you authentically are. So many people decide on majors. So many people decide on careers and end up not liking it because they never discovered who they were before they actually made the decision. And then once you make the decision, once you're clear where you're headed, you want to start using these assets in order to provide value, in order to empower people, and to make it an impact in the area that you desire to possess. This is what I call a shape analysis. And the reason why it's so important is because, number one, all of us possess greatness on the inside. All of us possess gifts and passion and value and stories and experiences and different types of personality that will enable us to ultimately make an impact in the lives of other people. But number two, the reason why it's so important is because when you go to get a job, you're not looking for a job. The job should be looking for you because you have the value and the assets to ultimately make that job better. I tell people all the time, what separates certain individuals within various workplace settings is based on the value that you're able to add. Now, I'm not saying there is systematic racism. There's a variety of other challenges that people of color face, that women face, and a variety of other people face as well. That is true, and that is a reality, which makes it even more important to add more value, to show the value that you have, to show your experience, to show your authentic self, to bring that into the organization and allow people to be impacted by it. This is so critically important when it comes to career success, because as I said earlier, you don't want to look for a job, you want a job to look for you. And I want you to understand, there are companies and organizations that are looking for individuals just like yourselves, because you possess assets, you possess value, and you possess skills that's going to make the organization better, that's going to make the workplace better. You possess that type of stuff on the inside. And it's one of the reasons I love this quote. I want to share this quote. Is by Carla Harris. She's literally an influencer. She's a legend in the area of investment and finances. And she says something really powerful. I want you to hear this quote. She says, if you are working hard and you feel like you are not getting anywhere within the company, watch what she says. She says, ask yourself, how are they defining success? And does my value align with it? Oh, this is so good, y'all. Listen up. She says, a very successful black woman, this is what she says. Very successful. She says, if you're doing everything you can, if you're coming to the office every day and you're going the extra mile and you know you bring value, but nothing is happening. She says, number one, recalibrate, identify your value. Number two, understand how the organization or company defines success, because how they define success may be different from what you define success. But once I understand how they define success, I can use my value and my assets to align with their definition of what success is. See, a lot of times we think we're successful, but again, you got to remember success is relative, and people have different measurements and different perspective of what success is. And so if I'm going to have career success, if I'm going to reach my fullest potential, I'm not telling you to not be who you are, because you want to be authentically, you want to be confident, you want to come to the table and be true to who you are, but you also want to be flexible, you also want to be adaptable and be able to adjust your assets to connect with the visions of the organization, of the team, or the company. And when you do that and add value, I promise you there will be greater opportunities. I promise you there will be promotions. I promise you, if that organization doesn't take notice, somebody else is going to take notice as well. But again, it comes down to this concept: have you done what I call a shape analysis, identifying your value, understanding what the organization determines is valuable, and then adding value to how they define value in that particular situation or organization. And what's so interesting about this is there was actually a study at Stanford University. And this was the study. They had all these individuals that deal with leadership, and they came together and they asked a simple question. They said, what is the key to leadership success? And when they were having this conversation, this is what they found. They said the number one skill set to develop an emerging leader. So Kayla, Jay, this would be for you. They said the number one skill set to develop an emerging leader is self-awareness. It's this ability to understand who you are. It's ability to be aware of self, be aware of who you are. Because once I know who I am, I know how to create the right team. I know what areas I'm good at. I know areas I'm not good at. I'm a more effective leader. I can have greater emotional intelligence. And most importantly, I can position myself for what I call career leadership success. So we're dealing with this shape analysis, and we're dealing with this understanding that's so critically important as it relates to career leadership success. And I think the question now becomes, well, how do I implement this? How do I take this information and make it a reality in my life? And there's really 3 steps or 4 steps that I think are important. Number one, identify your shape. Identify your top 3 values. Identify your H, heart, your passion. Identify your 3 abilities. Identify your personality type. Identify those stories that have shaped who you are and use them when you're having conversation and people are getting to know you. And also ask yourself, based on my cultural background, what assets do I bring to the table that can be beneficial for an organization or a company? Number 2, find a career path that emerges out of your shape. So what career, what profession is in alignment with who you are? And then number 3, develop a list. What are ways I can add value to this profession? What are ways that I can add value to this area of expertise? How can I add value? And then the last, but definitely the most powerful, begin to incorporate into your daily lifestyle. Incorporate your gifts. Incorporate your passion. Incorporate your values. Incorporate that smile. Incorporate that excitement. If you're an introvert, incorporate being an introvert. Incorporate your story. Incorporate your upbringing. Incorporate what I call your cultural intelligence. Incorporate all that and allow people to experience the value that you bring to an organization or a company. And this is how you implement this concept called the shape analysis. And what's so interesting about this concept, I want to share a story with you. Several years ago, I used to do what they call this program called Growth Track. This was a program that I did in Miami, Florida, and it's for our local church. And the purpose of it was to help people to understand the gifts on the inside and understand their purpose. And so when you go through this program, you begin to learn more about who you are. You begin to learn more about your personality type. You begin to learn more about your gifts. You begin to learn more about your strengths. And then what we do, and which I love to do, is I begin to challenge you. I begin to empower you, not only to embrace that, but begin to step out and pursue that. And throughout this journey, we had this young lady that came into our session one Sunday afternoon. And as I talked to her and got to know her, she had went through a lot. And she was just in a tough position because she had dealt with betrayal. She had dealt with people talking about her. She had dealt with a lot of negativity as it relates to her gift, as it relates to what she's able to do well. And so I asked the question, I said, whoever has a gift, raise your hand. Obviously, because of what she was going through, she didn't want to raise her hand. She didn't want to participate. And when I saw people in my audience that were like that, I began to ask more questions and I began to connect. And finally, she began to share, I have this gift to sing. I love to sing. I love fashion and I love to help people. And she began to share. And I was like, yo, if you can sing, I want you to get up right now and I want you to sing immediately. And she was like, no, I don't want to sing. I was like, no. This is the safe zone. It's going to be cool. We're not going to judge you. I just want you to sing. I love to hear singers. But no, I don't want to sing. So I didn't press on with her. I just invited her to another event that we had in the future weeks. And so she came to the event. And at that particular event, I was giving this presentation. And I was talking about, using your gifts. I was talking about activating the greatness on the inside of you. And in the back of the room, she's in the back and she's talking to my wife and she's literally bawling in tears. And the reason she's bawling in tears is because she came to the moment of understanding where she realized that she was allowing this negativity, that she was allowing this fear, that she was allowing all these challenges that had come against her to stop her from using the gifts on the inside. And as she's sitting there and having these tears and these things are going through her mind, I'm sitting there speaking and finally she comes up to me, she says, Josh, I'm ready to sing. I'm ready to use my gift. I said, awesome. And so we did another event and she gets up there, y'all, and she starts singing. And then she keeps singing. And then she's a lead singer. She just began to blossom and she began to flourish. And then she continued to pursue a career in nursing. And so now she's helping people and she's singing. And remember I told you she was into fashion? Well, now she also is she does modeling. And she models clothing, and she shows up all her clothing and her fashion and doing these great pictures on IG. Now remember, this is a young lady that came into our class that was sitting there and was upset and was feeling down. But yet, when we activated the greatness, activated the shape, not only did she begin to add value, not only did she begin to flourish, not only did she begin to blossom, but ultimately she's making an impact in her areas of expertise. And the lesson is this: if I'm going to attain career success, if I'm going to position myself for career success after graduation, then I got to experience what I call a shape analysis. I got to identify my shape. I got to activate my shape. I got to place my shape in the place that is most beneficial for it to blossom and to grow. And then lastly, add value, add value, add value. First question is this: are you aware of your shape? Have you done a shape analysis? Now we're at 5:45, and I know we had a Zoom room earlier. We're going to go back into another Zoom room because for the next 2 to 3 minutes, I want Kayla and Jay, this is what I want you both to do with each other. I want you both to identify what are 3 assets as it relates. No, let me go a step farther. The next one was I want to ask this: what are 3 gifts? What are 3 gifts that you possess, or three positive experiences that you possess that you could share on social media? I want to say it again. What are 3 gifts? What are 3 experiences? What are 3 positive things about you that you could share on IG, Facebook, or LinkedIn today? That's what I want you to do. So I'm going to give you 3 to 4 minutes to talk about it. And then after you talk about it, we're going to come back and I want you to share with me exactly what that is. So you got 4 minutes. Again, what are 3 assets that you could share on social media platforms about your experience, about your story, about who you are, that others would be inspired by? We'll give you 4 minutes and then we'll come right back. See y'all soon. Jade, are you there?
Yes, I'm
Going
so
once.
sorry. I don't know why the Zoom audio, I couldn't hear anything for a second. I'm really sorry about that.
Okay, cool. How you doing, Jade?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good. Awesome. So what did you share with Kayla when you all broke out into breakout rooms?
So what I shared with her was it was actually easier for me to come up with because I actually do have a social media following already. I have a YouTube
Okay.
channel where I share my makeup and also my fashion.
Wow.
But one thing I
I
would like
love
to
it.
get into and share more is I want to be a psychologist because I want to be a counselor for juvenile girls. Because
Mhm.
in Hawaii, we have a huge population of teenagers and women that don't go into the right part of their life. They get into drugs, and also they
Wow.
get into prostitution, and some of them end up being just drug addicts, and some of them commit suicide. So
Yes.
I would like to be the person to inspire them that they can do whatever they wanted to positive in their life, and that they can be the person that they really wanted to be, and not follow the people that are dragging them down.
Wow. That's powerful. I love that. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Have you ever considered using your influence on YouTube to share those stories as well and you inspire people?
Yes, I actually very much consider it. I'm actually considering it right now. I'm trying to see what videos I could do and what I could really like talk about and inspire other people to do.
I love it. Awesome. How many followers do you have, by the way? Just curiosity.
I have 1,000, I think 1,200 so far.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it, Jay. I love it. Awesome. You're gonna like my next point. I love it. Thank you so much, Jay. Kayla, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Awesome. So Kayla, what did you share? What did you talk about when you were talking to Jay?
One of the things I said is that I'm very open-minded, and when it comes to like everything, like all aspects, I'm very
Mhm.
into like inclusion and making sure everybody feels wanted and accepted. I also said that I'm into photography and that me and one of my best friends are currently writing a book.
You're writing a book. Tell me about the book. Tell me about this. What's the book about?
So we were just talking about how in like Hollywood, there's not any like stories with black leads, like black female leads. So
Mhm.
we wanted to write a book about a genuine and accurate black story, basically.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. Have you looked into internships in Hollywood? Because I know they have a lot of amazing programs for people like yourself, where they're looking for to get more cultural diversity or ethnic diversity. Have you looked into that? Because there's a lot of programs that are out there. And if you haven't, make sure you connect with me on LinkedIn. Because if I ever see anything, I'll definitely, hopefully, I'll think about you. I can send that to you. But have you looked into that?
No.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, you start doing that. It's going to be, there's a lot of opportunity for it. And I love what you're doing. And so, Jade and Kay, I love what you're doing. And you led me into my next point. And it's so important. But again, and you're probably already doing it. But I definitely want to provide a reminder. So, my second point is this: if you're going to be effective at positioning yourself for career leadership success, you have to be what I call a digital maven. Now, this is a concept that I coined. When I deal with this concept of digital maven, number one, not only is it important that you create what I call a digital brand. Again, we know what that is. That's your profile picture, that's your video, that's your representation, not only on different social media platforms, but also sometimes as far as videos are concerned as well. But also, it's also an ability to be able to network, to build relationships, to connect, to lead, to build community, and position yourself for success and add value on different, what I like to say, digital social media platforms. In essence, a social media maven or a digital maven is able to do three things. Number one, they're able to create what I call an effective digital brand. Man, your digital brand is so vitally important. That deals with your profile, that deals with the wording that you use, that deals with your descriptions, that deals with your colors, that deals with your picture, that deals with what you're wearing, that deals with your video, that deals with having the right profile for the right social media platform. So that's number one. Number two, then we start to deal with understanding the different social media platforms because we understand Facebook is different from TikTok. TikTok is different from Snapchat. Snapchat is different from IG. IG is different from LinkedIn. So it's understanding these social media platforms. And then number three, learning how to navigate, learning how to communicate, learning how to build relationships, learning how to build your brand, learning how to increase your value, learning how to find the audience or the professional connections that are in alignment with what you want to do, and then ultimately adding value to that community. For when you go to LinkedIn, you'll see executives and you'll see people that are in powerful positions, and you'll always see them post pictures and post experiences, and there's certain headshots that they use in, there's certain videos that they use in, there's certain posts that they use in, there's certain things they comment on and certain things they don't comment on, because they understand that everything they do affects their digital and their personal brand. And so if I'm going to be effective in the 21st century, if I'm going to position myself for what I call career leadership success, I got to be what I call a digital maven. And the reason why this is so important, because number one, there's so many opportunities that are available to those that know how to effectively market, brand, communicate, and create community on different social media platforms. But in addition to that, in the midst of COVID-19, in the midst of all the challenges that are happening right now, it's even more important that you understand how to connect, how to add value, how to create community in digital spaces. You don't even got to have a lot of followers. You don't even got to have a lot of people that follow you. It's about being in the right communities. And it's about providing value to those communities. It's about people knowing who you are. It's about establishing what I like to say, a reputation. This is what I consider a digital maven. And if you're going to thrive and succeed in the 21st century, as it relates to career success, you have to be able not only to create a tight digital brand, but you have to know how to navigate, create community, build relationships, and also add value to your area of expertise. And it's one of the reasons I love this article that I read online. And it was about the power of digital branding, the power of creating connections. And when you read the article, they not only say that a social media personal brand is valuable, but they go on to say the importance of getting active, of being involved, of connecting with people, of building relationships, of building your brand, of building your reputation, of commenting on posts. They talk about the importance of this because they understand that in the 21st century, one of the keys to career success, one of the keys to attaining personal success, one of the keys to positioning yourself for the dream or the vision that you want in the future is being able to effectively navigate in different digital spaces. And I thought this was really interesting because I wanted to bring up a couple of quotes or a couple of studies that was really eye-opening to me. And I want you to check this out. There was one study that I came across. There was an article, and they had all this different research. And one of the things they said was that 20% of employers expect people to have an online presence. So 20% of people that hire, they're looking for people that have an online presence. The second thing that was eye-opening to me is this. They said that literally 85% of people, let me read this again, 85 positions are filled without an employer advertising. 85% are filled without employers advertising. That means through digital media, through connections, through networking, people are looking for talent. People are looking for people that can do great in a field. There's another stat I thought was interesting. They said 70% of employers use social media to determine whether or not someone's a good fit. 70%. That means when you show the resume, when you connect, they want to find your receipts. They want to find what you're doing. They want to know exactly what your digital brand looks like. There was even a more powerful study that I never want to share with you, and I believe it's at the bottom, and it was about 49% of people that get jobs do not have a complete LinkedIn profile. And when you do a LinkedIn is the top platform when it comes to professional opportunities, to career, to connecting with people as it relates to career readiness and career success. And with only 49% of people completing their profile, that means they're leaving opportunities on the table. That means they're not allowing themselves to be in position where people may find them without them even looking. There's so many opportunities, but again, if we don't take advantage, if we don't learn how to navigate these different platforms, we can miss out on what I like to call personal leadership and career success. And so the question becomes is, Dr. J, I understand the importance. I see the studies, but how can I position myself for success? And I'm glad you asked, and I'm going to share some concept with you. Number one, you want to build a tight digital brand. You know, when you go to someone to look over your resume, you want to have someone look over your digital brand. Have someone look over your LinkedIn profile. And this is what's amazing. There are people that will do it for free. There are literally YouTube videos you can look up where you can find out how to have the extra advantage when it comes to your digital brand or your LinkedIn profile. Number two, you want to learn about the different profiles. Okay, what do I need on Instagram? What do I need on YouTube? What do I need on Facebook? What do I need on TikTok? In essence, which one's going to be most beneficial for my career advancement and my career success? The third thing is, once I have the brand, once I understand the platforms, I start to connect. I start to build relationships. I want to challenge you over the next 30 days, 5 days a week. Connect with 5 new people on LinkedIn. Comment on 5 posts. Reach out to 5 people. Just begin that process, and you'll be amazed at the lessons you'll learn, at the connections you'll build as you begin to create your digital and your professional brand. And if you can be consistent with this over 2 years, imagine that. 25 people per week, that's 100 people per month. Times that by 12, that's 1,200 people per year. Times that by 2, that's 2,400 contacts per year that you're reaching out to, that you're connecting with. I can promise you, if you were disciplined in that, you'll be amazed at the lessons that you'll learn, the opportunities that will potentially be available, people, and most importantly, the people that will know who you are. And then lastly, you want to add value. Once I'm in this space, once I'm on this platform, I'm here to add value. I'm here to make people better. I'm here to set a great reputation. I'm here to create a great brand. This is what it means to be a digital brand. This is what it means to be an effective, what I call digital maven. And one of the greatest stories I love to share with everyone is, for the past 11 years, we've done this conference called the Circle of Change Leadership Conference. And each year we bring students from all across the country, and they would come to New York or LA. And over a 3-day period, we would have different speakers and different programs that would ultimately empower them and position them to connect with people and to learn from people that were already achieving career success. And throughout this experience, we did a particular event at San Jose State University. It was a regional conference in the Bay Area. And there was a young lady by the name of Jasmine. Jasmine was a PR student at the time, and she decided to come to the conference because she understood the power of events. She understood the power of connection. She understood the power of learning as much as she could as it related to career success. And so ultimately, when the conference was over, Jasmine didn't just stop there. She connected with people on LinkedIn. She added me as a friend. And one day I was in my bed and I was just going through different profiles. And at the time, I was looking for an intern to help me with PR. And I just happened to learn that I thought Jasmine did an incredible job at connecting with other people. And so I did a little bit more investigation and realized that she was a PR major. And so I reached out to Jazz. I said, listen, Jazz, I'm looking for a PR intern. Is this something you'd be interested in? And so, yeah, I would love to do it. That's what I want to do. And so Jasmine started to intern with me. And so Jasmine interned with me for the first semester, and it was pro bono because I wanted to see, if she was really serious, if she was really engaged, and she went the extra mile. And she was so good. I said, listen, Jazz, I want to keep you working with me. I really like how you are, and I'm going to give you a stipend. And so for the next year, I paid her every single month. And she was a student intern that was getting paid. And she was exceptional. And then she ended up graduating. And it was time for her to get an internship at this PR company. And when it was time for her to get this internship, she reaches out to me, she says, Josh, can you provide me with a recommendation? I was like, absolutely. For what you've done for me, I'm going to give you the best recommendation possible. And the company actually ended up calling me And when people call me, I mean, I blow them up. I mean, I was like, you are amazing. She was incredible. Well, not only did she get the internship, but she actually is working there now, and she's continuing to be promoted in the company. And the reason why this happened is not only because Jasmine is exceptionally amazing student, she's an exceptional professional, she's an amazing person, but she took advantage of the opportunities that were available to her in the digital space. She created the right profile. She learned to be on the right platforms where people where she could connect with were doing what she wanted to do. And then she built relationships. And then she added value. And ultimately, out of nowhere, I saw her and I took notice. And that would be part of her elevation to the position she is today. And I think so many times we're dealing with COVID-19 and there's so many challenges going on. But I think one of the things we forget is the opportunities that are available to us on various social media platforms and in digital spaces. And as a student, I think it's more important than ever that not only do you become a digital maven, but you learn how to create the right profile and how to do the things necessary to position yourself for what I like to say, career leadership success. The second point, as it relates to career leadership success, is are you a digital maven? And we're getting ready to go back into a breakout room, Jane and Kayla, and you're going to have another 5 minutes. And when you go into the breakout room, this is going to be your next question. What person do you admire or appreciate the most? What person has had the greatest impact on your life, and why do you appreciate and why are you so grateful for them? So you're going to have 5 minutes to talk about this. You're going to come back and share, and then we're going to move into our next point. See you soon. Come back. Oh, we still have time. Oh, today. There we go. Awesome, awesome. Welcome back, Jade and Kayla. Oh, there they go. Welcome back, Jade. Welcome back. How you doing? Hope Kayla's on her way back. Oh, there we go, Kayla. Awesome. So real quick, I'm gonna start with you, Jade. Real quick, Jade, if you could share with me what person's been most impactful in your life that you appreciate.
I definitely would say my mom and my dad. So
Mhm.
my mom always has taught me to stand up for myself against bullies and stuff like that. Especially like we're both feminists, so she always tells me never let a man tell me what to do, especially like a
Mhm.
boss or something when it's not authorized. So not talking about like work, but necessarily like just trying to step on me or trying to not let me be the successful person who I am. And also my
Yeah.
dad, he's always pushed me to be the best, especially I have weight problems. So he's always been the one to help me and push me the best person I can be and just to treat others like how I'd want to be treated. No matter what gender, race, anything, especially us being Mexican, it's always just been about equality. So that's what I love about him and I appreciate that they're in my life.
That's awesome. I love it. Awesome. Phenomenal story. Awesome, Jade. I love it. Kayla, what about you?
I said either my grandma or my mom because they're both very strong and independent women, and they just kind of helped me growing up learn things I need to learn as a person and not
Yeah.
kind of depend on other people for it.
Awesome. I love it. Two strong women and wonderful role models. I love it. I love it. I love it. And the reason why I asked you that question, because I'm going to lead to my third point. And my third point is this. We'll get back to that later. My third point is this, is do you have a dream team? Again, once we've done a shape analysis, once we become a digital maven, the next step is a dream team. What is a dream team? A dream team consists of what I call mentors, peer mentors, sponsors, and friends that not only support you, not only inspire you, not only empower you to be successful, but they're individuals that challenge you and are an advocate for you behind closed doors. In essence, when I deal with the dream team, number one, we're dealing with mentors. These are people that you can learn from, that give you advice, that give you wisdom, because they're doing what you want to do. Your peer mentors are people that are, I like to say, are on the same level, are at the same place in life. They're pursuing the same things. They're going where you're going, and you're able to learn from each other. You're able to build each other up. Your sponsors, these are influential people. These are people that are in high leadership roles. These are people that will go behind doors and they will advocate for you. These are people that are I like to say, have a seat at the table, and they're going to bring your name up when you're not there. They have the power to open doors for you. And then we have our friends, we have our family. These are people that you're connected with. These are people that you chill with, that you hang out with, that you talk with, or you're just people in your immediate family. This is part of your dream team. And the reason why this is so important, because one of the things that I've discovered is that if you're going to succeed, if you're going to thrive, if you're going to reach your fullest potential, then we need people. We need people to be honest. We need people that care. We need people that are inspiring. We need people that are going to go out of their way in order for us to go to another level. We need mentors. We need teachers. We need people that are willing to go the extra mile for us, are willing to speak for us, are willing to advocate for us. In essence, if we're going to thrive and succeed, we need people, because the people you surround yourself with, the people that you connect with, will have a direct impact on your success. Now, again, I know you may be brilliant, and I know you're strong, and I know you have incredible abilities. But at the end of the day, we're only as good as the people we surround ourselves with. In essence, we're only as good as the people that are going to be there to stand with us. We're only as good as the people that are going to be there to encourage, to inspire, to be honest with us, to keep us accountable. And most importantly, will not allow us to not reach our fullest potential. And as when I think about people that are part of my dream team, not only do they see things in me that I don't see in myself, but they will not allow me not to reach my fullest potential. It's one of the reasons I love this quote, some say by Les Brown, and he says, and I quote, "Show me your friends and I'll show you your future." Because the people that I surround myself with have a direct impact on my future. It's one of the reasons I tell people that certain people come for a season, certain people come for a reason, and very few for a lifetime. Because as you grow, as you evolve, as you get closer and closer to your destiny and your vision, one of the things you'll discover is certain people will come in and certain people will go out. Certain people will come in and certain people will come out. In addition to that, it's one of the reasons I love this quote. It's so powerful. It says, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." In essence, the people you spend the most time with is a great predictor of who you are. I want to go a step farther. If you were to read these studies, you will find that our life, our joy, our excitement, our financial success is very predicated on who we surround ourselves with. And then there's this powerful quote, and I want to share it with you. Watch what it says. It says, if you are the smartest person in the room, you need to surround yourself with new people. It said, if you're the most successful person in the room, find a new room. It said, if you're the most loving person in the room, find a new street. And it says, we grow based on who we surround ourselves with. In essence, your growth, your evolution, your career, your professional and leadership success is very predicated on the people that you decide to have in your life. There was an interesting study that I read about by PayScale and by ABC News, and I want to read this first today. It says 85% of jobs are through referrals or networking. Listen, not through resumes, not through online applications, 85% of jobs through referrals or networking. But let me go a step farther. They said 80% of jobs are through networking. 80%, which means if I'm going to position myself for career success, if I'm going to position myself for professional success and leadership success, I need to have a dream team. I need to be building relationships. I need to be connecting with other people that are in line with what I believe and where I'm going. And so once I understand this, now the question becomes, well, okay, Dr. J, you've given us this information, but how do I build this dream team? And I'm glad you asked, and I got some key steps. Number one, you want to identify what's your career focus. And this is why I started with the shape analysis. You want to identify what is my career focus. Number 2, what are some associations? What are some events or programs that I can participate, that I can volunteer, that I can be a leader of, that's going to enable me to connect with like-minded people, that's going to enable me to build, to learn, to find mentors, peer mentors, sponsors, and even friends. Number 3, once I join the associations, I'm going to seek out these professional connections. I'm going to seek out mentors. I'm going to seek out peer mentors. I'm going to seek out sponsors. You'll be amazed at how many people love to give back and to help the next generation of leaders. Number 4, I'm going to build those relationships. So once I meet these people, once I connect, I'm going to build. I'm going to manage. And I'm going to do that through adding value. Again, the relationship is not just about one person receiving. It's a mutual beneficial relationship. Both parties are giving to each other so that collectively they both can win. And you know what's interesting about this point is I'll never forget, I was in Denver, Colorado. And when I was in Denver, Colorado, I didn't put this in the PowerPoint, I'm going to show you, but I was in Denver, Colorado. And literally I was at this barbecue, and one of my best friends was having this barbecue. And it was Memorial Day weekend. And so they had the ribs, and they had the hot links, and they had the chicken, and the macaroni and cheese, and the baked beans, and the collard greens. And they had all this food that was available. So we're eating, and we're gathering, we're listening to music, we're having a good time. And there was this lady that was there, and she was executive of the year at IBM. And as I discovered this, I began to have a conversation because at this time I was traveling and I was speaking and I was helping students to attain career success. So we're having this conversation, and I said, well, what was the key to your career success? And she said, look at your hand. I said, what? Like, what does my hand have to do with career success? She said, no, just look at your hand. And so I put my hand up there, and she says, how many fingers do you have? And I'm like, this is a really stupid question. Obviously, I have 5 fingers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She says, absolutely. She said the 5 fingers represent the 5 new people that I placed in my life in the beginning of the year. And as in the beginning of the year, I identified 5 people. And I said, for the entire year, I'm going to build, this is going to be my circle. And I'm going to invest in them and they're going to invest in me. And by the end of the year, we're all going to win. And ultimately what she was telling me is she said the reason she was able to thrive and succeed was because of the community that she had built. In essence, it was the community that enabled her to succeed. And ultimately the same is true for us in our career and our profession as leaders. Ultimately, we're either part of the community that enables other people to thrive and succeed, or there are other people that are part of our community that enable us to thrive and succeed. And at that point, I had this eye-opening experience. And what I realized, if I want to attain success, if I want to grow, if I want to evolve, if I want to reach my fullest potential, then I got to be very intentional and very selective in who I decide to make a mentor, a peer mentor, a sponsor, or even my relationship partner or my friends. Because my community, the people that I surround myself with, have a direct impact on my success. So the third point, as it relates to hashtag boss moves, is do you have a dream team? And we're getting ready to move on to the last point, but I'm going to play 2 songs real quick, and it's called Name That Tune. And whatever Jade or Kayla, whoever gets the most right with 3 songs, we're going to do 3 songs. Whoever gets the most right, I'm going to give you a $10 cash app. So what I'm going to do is after this is complete, you give me your cash for your Venmo. I'm going to cash app you $10. I'm going to hopefully pay for lunch or dinner, whatever the case may be. But you got to guess the song. So Mike is going to get ready to play the song. Mike, play song number 1. You have 30 seconds, y'all. Get ready. Here we go. Let's go, Mike. Play the song.
This is my fight song.
Anybody got it? Got to put it in the chat. Fight song. Who said that? Stop talking about who said that. Who was it? Who said that first? Was it Kayla? Was it Jay?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Hello? Who was it? Who said it?
Kayla.
Kayla got it first. Congratulations, Kayla. Congratulations. All right, Jade, if you can do it in the chat box next time, y'all, because it just makes it easier. If you can put it in the chat box, just type in the chat box. Michael, play the next song. Congratulations, Kayla got it right. Kayla, congratulations, Survivor. Right before Jade, it was Survivor by Beyonce. We're going to do one more song. This is for the kicker. Here we go, Mike. Play the song. Let's go.
DJ Khaled. Yeah. All I do is win, 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 no matter what. Got money.
Kayla got it.
I can never get enough. Every time I step up in the
Let's
field.
play it real quick, y'all. We got one more point, but why not? And they
They
what?
stay there, and they say yeah, and they say there.
Because all I do is...
Cause all I do is win, win, win. And if you going in,
All right, we'll cut the music, Mike. Cut the music. Awesome. Congratulations, Kayla. Thank you so much for participating, Jay. Kayla, I'm going to give you a $10 cash app. And because we're not going to have no loser today, Jade, I'm going to give you a $10 cash app as well. So if you both can provide me with your cash app, I'm going to provide you both with a free $10 cash app, courtesy of your participation, courtesy of your engagement with this program today. And I'm going to end with this final point. And the reason why I did this song is because one of the things you can discover when you play songs is it makes you feel a certain type of way. In essence, there's certain things that cause us to feel a certain type of way. And as a leader, not only do you have the responsibility to set culture, but you have the responsibility to ensure that the culture is conducive for others to succeed as well. And if I'm going to do that effectively, if I'm going to be an effective leader, but I'm only going to be an effective, have a successful career, then moving to my last point is do you possess social awareness? Now, this concept of social awareness is actually a part of emotional intelligence, and social awareness is a really complex issue. Social awareness is number one, it's an ability not only to be empathetic, to put yourselves in the shoes of other people, but social awareness is an ability not only to recognize the emotional state of people or an organization or room, but it's also an ability to respond in a way that produces positive results. In essence, an individual that has social awareness, number one, they're empathetic. They have an ability to put themselves in the shoes of others. Number two, they're great listeners. People that are social aware, they're great listeners. Number three, what they're able to do is able to read the emotions of others. They're able to read what I call the emotional state of the room or the organization. And then lastly, they're able to respond and move in such a way that ultimately leads to a positive result. In essence, when we deal with this concept of social awareness, not only am I empathetic, but I have an ability to identify the emotional state of people and organizations and an ability to respond in the right way. And this is so important, not only as we take career success, but leadership success as well, because number one of the keys of career or leadership success is this concept of influence. I tell people all the time that I define leadership as an ability to influence people to a certain destination to make an impact. But you can't make an impact, you can't work with people to pursue this vision unless you're able to influence. You can't create change unless you're able to influence. You can't reach your fullest potential unless you're able to influence. And ultimately, when you have social awareness, when you have what I call emotional intelligence, you have an ability not only to read a room or a situation, but you know how to respond in the right way at the right moment. So when you have emotional intelligence, when you're socially aware, you're not going to say stupid things or do stupid things at the wrong time. That's not going to happen when you have social awareness. And that's when you think about great leaders or professionals. These are people that are able to motivate, inspire, empower, mobilize, deal with conflict, work together as teams, because they have an ability not only to read an environment or an individual, but they know how to respond in a way that leads to positive results. This is social awareness. And it's one of the reasons why I love this quote by Daniel Goleman. Watch what he says. He has created a book called Emotional Intelligence 2.0. And watch what he says. He said, if your emotional abilities aren't in hand, if you don't have self-awareness, if you're not able to manage distress and emotions, if you can't have empathy or have effective relationships, then no matter how smart you are, you won't get very far. In essence, he says this. Watch what he says. He says, you could be smart, you could have competence, you can have IQ, but if you don't have emotional intelligence, if you don't have social awareness, then you're not going to get very far. There was one study that I read, and in this study, what they found is they found when someone doesn't have high social awareness, they don't treat people well. They have high turnover. Ultimately, they're ineffective as leaders. They're toxic people to the organization. But then we have other people that have high EQ or high social awareness. They're able to connect. They know how to treat people. They know how to empower people. They know how to deal with problems. They know how to make things better. That's why I think it's so important. If I'm going to attain career leadership success, I got to be socially aware. And I know I'm about a minute over time, so I'm going to leave with this last how-to moment. How do I build my social awareness? Well, number one, I got to be empathetic. If I'm going to be socially aware, I got to be empathetic. Number two, I got to observe and listen before I act. I got to observe. I got to listen. Number three, I got to become an expert in nonverbal communication. I got to understand how to read the nonverbals. Number four, I got to understand different organizational structures, different organizational systems, and how to navigate. Number five, I got to know how to solve multiple problems. And then lastly, I got to learn from wise and experienced people. There are wise and experienced people that know how to deal with certain situations. And if I can connect with these types of people and build relationships, it can make my life that much more better. In essence, if you're going to attain career success, if you're going to attain leadership success, then there's four key components that I think are essential in this evolution and journey. Number one, have you done a shape analysis? Number two, are you a digital maven? Number three, do you have a dream team? And number four, are you socially aware? Now, before I close, I want to do just one quick poll, and it's going to be a really simple poll. And what I want to ask you really quickly, the two people, Jade and Kayla, even Kevin, what part had the most impact for you? Was it shape analysis? Was it digital maven, dream team, or social awareness? Michael, play the music. That's it, Mike. Also, number one was shape analysis. Thank you all so much for sharing that wonderful comment. So the most impactful for you today was this concept of shape analysis. I want to thank you all so much for giving me the opportunity to speak today. Again, as I often say, knowledge is not power, applied knowledge is power. And in order for this information to really be manifested in a positive way in your life, you're going to have to use it. So I want to encourage you all to use the information, apply the information, and again, make sure you grow in the information as well. But it's been a pleasure to be with you here today. Thank you so much, Kevin, for giving me the opportunity to speak. And I'm going to put it in Kevin's hands. And Kevin, I'll let you take it away and come onto the screen. And again, Jade and Kayla, if you have any questions, I'll stay here for a moment. If you have any questions you want to ask me, it could be anything you want to ask. I'll sit here and answer questions as well. But again, Kevin, it's in your hands. Thank you so much. And if they have questions, I'll stay here and answer those as well.
Yes, most definitely. So Kayla and Jay, before y'all head out, let me make sure I stop this recording real quick.